Shalom everybody, Akiva here, hope you're doing well. A little thought on this week's Torah portion, Parshat Shemot. We're beginning a whole new book of the Torah, the book of Exodus. And the Jewish people, they're already in Egypt. Slavery is beginning and will get eventually to redemption. In this week's Torah portion, we meet the eventual leader of the Jewish people, the first true leader and savior of the Jewish people, Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu. And we learn a few interesting things about him. One thing I want to focus on is the following. The first thing we learn about Moshe is that he gets his name from the fact that he was drawn from the water. We know that Moshe's mom had to hide him because there was a decree from the Egyptians that all the firstborn babies should be killed. And so Moshe's mom puts him in a little cradle at a very, very, very young age in the water, and he's found by the daughter of Paro, taken into the royal palace, and grows up there. And because she finds him in the water and takes him from the water, she gives him this name Moshe. So this first thing we learn about Moshe is his connection to water. We'll get back to that in just a second. Another big thing that we learn about Moshe later in the Torah portion is when he's a shepherd. He has to run away from Egypt for various reasons, and he's a shepherd. And he eventually reaches, with his flock, a mountain that we learn is Mount Sinai, where eventually in the not too long off future, the Jewish people will be and receive the Torah. But for now, Moshe's there, alone on this mountain, and he sees the famous burning bush. He sees this bush, this plant, on fire, but realizes, wait, there's a fire, but it's not being consumed, it's not being burnt. This is not your ordinary fire. And he has his first revelation of God in this fire, from this fire. So here's another aspect of Moshe that we learn about, his connection to fire. And we take these two things, water and fire, and I think we can learn two very important life lessons from it. First of all, water. What is water? Water is something that naturally in this world comes from a higher elevation to a lower elevation, from a place up on high to a place down below. And this represents the divine influence that there is in this world. That God on the godly level, on the divine level, is constantly, in every moment, every single second, constantly pouring shefa, divine influence onto us in this whole entire world. And reminds us to have that kavanah, that intention, that awareness, right? To be aware of the fact that there is this reality above us, and there is this other world beyond us. And we should always strive to connect to that. Fire is the complete opposite. Fire is from this physical world. It's very earthly. And if you look at fire, it's constantly striving to go up. It comes from down below and always wants to go up. If you look at a flame, a simple candle, it's always flickering, trying to get higher and higher. And it represents this idea that we're in this world, this physical world, where we're trying to strive to connect to something higher. Use the physical world to go beyond. Use this physical world to bring the divine into this world. So we have the water from above to below, we have the fire from below to above, and we have these two things that normally are complete opposites. Water and fire, they put out each other. They're complete opposites in nature. But in the realm of the spiritual, they're two halves of a greater whole. They're two halves that we need in our lives in this world to have a harmonious existence. We need the aspect of water, we need the aspect of fire, to really connect to who we are, connect to the world, connect to God, to connect to what this world is all about. So I bless us that we should take this teaching from Moshe, connect to the water, connect to the fire, become people who are shalem, complete, perfect, and really remember that we live in this physical world, but there's this world beyond this. And always strive to bring those two worlds together, to bring about a day, a future, where there's perfect harmony in the world. Lots of love and blessing from the land of Israel. Be well.